This is the video for you fan of third-person games focused in the story. Huge and massive games coming out in 2025 and beyond. So get ready, cause this is the definitive video for you. Thank you for watching. Click on the like and subscribe for more content. Thank you, and let's go.
Before the Germans.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world of the cursed reign.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is the returning of the classic hack-and-slash series. After a long time without a new game, a new one is finally announced. It's being developed by the studio's Platinum Games, Team Ninja, and Koei Tecmo Games, and is planned to be released still in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows. Ninja Gaiden is a legendary hack-and-slash series. The game mixes a little of exploration and an insane combat style with different weapons and characters. The new game will be set in the same style, but with new characters and with new generation graphics.
So you've come, Raven.
People come north to disappear. But you... And now...
Ghost of Yotei is the next game of the studio Sucker Punch Productions, the studio responsible for Ghost of Tsushima. And the new game is going to be the sequel, set over 300 years after the first game, and obviously, all the characters will be different, so I'm curious to see the game. It's coming out in some moment of 2025, with no release date yet, but this year, and will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but in some moment will be released on Windows too, I'm sure. The first game was an extremely fun action-adventure game, with some RPG mechanics, and this one will be set in the same style.
Still think you're the hunter?
My memory's still a bit blurry. Remember this. Inside my head.
Satellite gives us a 10-minute window. You made it.
That's just leftover hardware. It's been decommissioned. What the hell is happening? All I know is that Silvercorp is a piece of my story.
Mindseye is a story-driven, action-adventure thriller set in a fictional near-future Americana, featuring best-in-class cinematics, high-octane driving, and explosive combat from legendary game director Leslie Benzies. This is a game that promises to be the game to be in the same level of GTA 6 in 2025, and yes, it's being developed by an old Rockstar game director. That's why the hype is real about it. The studio is Build a Rocket Boy, and the game is coming out in some moment of 2025 or 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
Can. Do not lose her! I'm coming to you now! The search and rescue. their malfunction.
We shared land and history. But their lies slaughtered our families. No longer am I frozen in terror, grief, and rage. Terror all I feel.
Hell Is Us is a new action-adventure game with some RPG mechanics. The game will be set in a semi-open world, in a dark and mysterious universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rogue Factor, and it got a release date already, and it is September 4th, 2025, and it'll be available on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity. A game with beautiful graphics and an immersive gameplay. So just make sure you remember this one.
They took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
Vindictus, Defying Fate, is a new action RPG full of excitement. Defy the fate and create your own path. Fight your way through the journey filled with challenging combats waiting ahead. The game is being developed by the studio Nexon. It's coming out to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game got no release date yet, but I believe it's going to be announced still in 2025. The game features a great visual style, with a fast gameplay with multiple weapons and characters. Welcome to the world of Vindictus Defying Fate, an adrenaline-fueled action game where every clash is a symphony and every step is a dance with destiny.
The Ming Dynasty is dead. Although I swore to protect it, my mission is fulfilled. I will not rest until all traitors are silenced and our stolen kingdom returned.
Wuchang Fallen Feathers is a new Chinese action RPG game set in the Souls-like style. The studio developing the game is the studio Mindseye, and it's coming out in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. And the game is also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. The story is set in the land of Shu during the dark and tumultuous late Ming Dynasty, plagued with warring factions and a mysterious illness spawning monstrous creatures. The game got nice graphics and a gameplay that looks really good, especially for the fans of Souls-like games.
Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. The dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies within.
Come, Khazan. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together.
Lost Soul Aside is a hack-and-slash game developed by a Chinese studio. The studio is Ulti Zero Games, and the game is going to be released in May 30th, 2025. It's kind of close, and it'll be available on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your younger sister and the whole of humanity from mysterious dimensional invaders from beyond the starlit skies. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and impressive. The game is inspired in the gameplay of Final Fantasy XV and Devil May Cry, and it looks really good, with nice visual effects and insane fights.
I see great... Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a...
Tell me something good.
Intergalatic, the Heretic Prophet is the new game developed by the studio that created insane series like The Last of Us, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and more. The studio is Naughty Dog and is coming out probably in 2026 to PlayStation 5. So far we didn't see much about the game. What we know is that the game is being developed since 2020 and the graphics looks really good, what's usual of Naughty Dog. The game will be set in a futuristic and fanciful world. The gameplay wasn't announced yet, but in the trailer we see what could resemble a part of it, a sort of hack and slash or Souls-like style. What looks fun.
There, you're the boss. Thank you. Listen, kid.
Searching house to house.
If they arrest you two, they will take you to their headquarters, and you will not return.
By my count, that makes 2 super soldiers.
Counting you.
And that's 2 too many.
Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra is a new superhero game coming out. It's being developed by the studio Skydance Interactive and is aimed to be released in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. So far we didn't see much about the game, just a first trailer. That's an excellent trailer, by the way. In the game, we'll play as 4 different characters, American Captain, and Black Panther, some of the greatest Marvel superheroes in the last years. Beyond that, we'll also play as 2 normal soldiers, so I'm really curious to see how the gameplay of each one of them are going to be.
There's some obstacles.
That won't be a problem.
Our cat friend is definitely here, too. By the look of things, he's not very far ahead.
The American.
So what do you want?
Answers.
That's far enough!
Stay out of my way!
Stand aside!
I do not take...
All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family. And in this family is to betray all. Do you wish to commit yourself, your life, to this family?
Mafia the Old Country is the fourth game of an acclaimed and beloved series. I mean, the third game is not that beloved, but there are some fans of it too. The game is being developed by the studio Hangar 13, the studio responsible for Mafia 3. As I said, it's not the most beloved game, but they also did Mafia 1 Remake. That's an excellent game, and now it'll be their new chance of creating a good story. The game will be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. The game will be set before the other games, in the start of 20th century, and promises to be a game with a great storytelling like the first two games.
To become a man of honor, repeat these words.
My flesh has to burn like this saint. If I do not keep my oath.
Welcome, Enzo.
Never told you stories about critters and weavers? Oh, you're lucky I come along.
What?
Shh.
After I got you out of that tree, you said you helped me find my mama.
I ain't of a disposition to be gator snacks.
Well, me neither.
If we're gonna go on, we gotta get rid of him.
I'm all ears.
There's a trial of Bell. Some church folks once tried to dynamite him, and he didn't take that too kind.
South of Midnight is a new action-adventure from Compulsion Games. Explore the mythos and confront mysterious creatures of the Deep South in this modern folktale, while learning to weave an ancient power to surmount obstacles and unravel your family's hidden past. The game is coming out in April 8th, 2025 to Xbox Series XS and Windows. The game features a sort of hack-in/combat style, set in a stylish and cartoon graphic style, and as it's a Microsoft game, it's coming out day one to Xbox Game Pass, so it's worth a try.
That floating island is the Gator?
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Metal Gear Solid Delta is the remake of one of the most beloved games of the master Kojima, Metal Gear 3, and it's being developed by Konami. Just hope they do a great job here. It's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows in August 26th, 2025. Metal Gear is a stealth game, set in an extremely unique universe. The things are not what they seem, and the plot of the game is absolutely incredible, especially to its time. The remake will seemingly respect the original game, but bringing a new gameplay style, but keeping the core of the game, that's the stealth.
A real one-man army. Speak. Commencing virtuous mission.
Once, you've met humans. Havenswell. Imagine that they once ruled this very world.
AI Limit is an interesting action RPG game in the Souls-like style. The game is being developed by the studio Sense Game. In the beloved Souls-like style, the game is being developed by the studio Sense Games and is coming out in March 27th, 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game features a fast and fluid gameplay style. What's important in a Souls-like game? The graphic is in a mix of a sword anime style with some realistic aspects. In this post-apocalyptic wasteland sci-fi action RPG, the player will play as Arisa, a blader with immortality, and explore the city ruin to find the hope of a new life. The game looks fun, and it's close to be released, so I hope it's as good as it looks.
Waterfalls, where flowers bloom and trees thrive.
They control the rules in Evansville, and humans are just...
It's best if you both sides suffer heavy losses.
We are the same. Seeking after far-fetched goals with crippled memories.
Phantom Blade Zero is an insane action RPG game. It's being developed by the Studio S game and is coming out to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The release date is still not confirmed, but they said that it's going to be revealed in 2025, so I believe it's coming out in 2026 or later. The game will be set in a kind of linear map, similar to Dark Souls, but no, it's not a Souls-like game, but action RPG with mechanics that resembles Souls-like games. In the game, we'll play with different weapons, facing different enemies and bosses, finding new items and equipments, and honestly, I'm really hyped about this game.
Up you go. Sorry, kiddo. We've still got a ways to go.
Pragmata is a mysterious game. It's being developed by Capcom, a great video game studio. Especially nowadays, it's coming out to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game was supposed to be released in 2023, but it was postponed, and now we have no idea when it's coming out, and they haven't said or shown anything of the game since it was postponed. But the gameplay in the trailer looks really fun, especially for being so unique and mysterious.
人活进了戏里，还是戏本就因人而在。
Project the Perceiver is an insane upcoming action RPG game, and like most of the RPGs nowadays, we see some inspirations in Souls-like games, since the combat to the boss fights. The game is being developed by the Studio Paper Games, a Chinese studio, and is coming out in 2025 or 2026 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game will be set in a beautiful and immense open world with a lot of quests, enemies, and general content. The visual of this game is something mind-blowing with an impressive combat style and movements. So like most of China's game lately, you should keep an eye out for it.
且让你们体会。如何相提并论？ 一将功成万骨枯，总有。
It always comes back to this. This choice.
Saros is the next game of the studio that developed Returnal, a fun roguelike game released on PlayStation 5. The studio is Housemarque Studios, and as it's a PlayStation studio, it's coming out only on PlayStation 5, at least in the start, and is aimed to be released in 2026. We've just seen one trailer so far, but here we see that the graphics are really good, something Sony's game usually got. And again, the game will be set in a roguelike style, and we'll probably see bullet hell features. That's those games with a lot of things and shots for the player to avoid. What is fun for me?
Every time the sun dies, madness reigns, and everything begins again. Ways come back stronger. I know that you are here.
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is the remake of a classic and insane game. And yes, the first attempt to do the remake was cancelled. Thankfully, that seemed bad, but they announced a new version of the remake. So yeah, it's being developed again by Ubisoft, and it's coming out in some moment of 2026 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
Are you real? More real than you, I'm afraid. So, where's the captain? Everyone died. Oh, this is insane. What a trip. Not a trip. It's reality. Your new reality.
Are we brothers or something?
We have the same DNA. But
The Alters is an extremely curious game. It's being developed by the studio 11-Bit Studios and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. This game really got my attention. It's a sort of survival game. You'll be alone in a planet and will somehow create different versions of yourself to help you build and take care of the base. Yes, it sounds crazy. That's why it looks so fun. Despite it all, it will also be a game about exploration, discovering things and places in the universe to get resources, and the building mechanic even reminded me of Fallout Shelter. That was really good.
Calm down. You're not the original Jan, but that doesn't mean you can't be important. Like you look like me, but also like me. What the fuck did you drug me with, man? No, not hallucinating.
Gears of War Yotei is the new game of this beloved and acclaimed third-person shooter series. The game is being developed by the studio The Coalition, and it's coming out in some moment 2025 to Xbox Series XS and Windows. Gears of War is one of the biggest Xbox series, and this game is going to be set before of all original games. What's good, it's going to be set in one of the most important battle of the series. In the old games we could hear about Yotei, and now we'll be able to play as a younger Marcus in a brutal and fluid gameplay. So you, fan of Gears of War, this one shall be insane.
must be here somewhere.
Lunka! Don't hurt her!
You gave us quite the chase.
The Blood of the Dawnwalker is a new open RPG from the same director of the beloved The Witcher 3. The game is being developed by the studio Rebel Wolves and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Microsoft Windows. We still don't know the release date, but I'd say 2026 or 2027. And the interesting thing about the game is that just like The Witcher, the game will be set in a world that reacts to your decisions. All you choose will change something in the story, and the world will be dark and immersive, filled with creatures such as vampires.
Come on, I'll help you get your bearings. This is the ship's armory. Here you can check your weapons and put them through their paces. These rooms over here belong to other members of the crew. They're pretty much the same as yours. And the shower's down at the end.
Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the acclaimed original game. Again, it's being developed by Kojima Productions, and it's planned to be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5. In the future, it's probably coming out to Windows and maybe Xbox. Death Stranding is a unique and original game. The gameplay mixes walking simulator with building features, combat, and an insane story and storytelling. And the sequel will continue the story of Sam, the protagonist of the game, and now the players will continue to explore and connect the people, but also see the aftermath of the first game.
Adrian Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network. That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only. You brought America together, helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid that Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger, still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own, especially within the UCA.
The continent of Pywell. A land soaked in blood. By the battles of those who seek peace, begins the saga of the Greybeards.
There are beings who brought chaos to Providence. We seek to correct this.
I have my own mission.
Crimson Desert is an insane upcoming open-world RPG. The game is being developed by the studio Pearl Abyss, and it's coming out still in 2025, but with no specific date yet. But it's coming out to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and PC. This is one of those games that are even hard to believe that they're really good as they look. The graphics are insane. The world seems huge and massive, and is a game with a lot of features like glide, parkour, a nice combat style, dragon ride, and much more. And if it's as good as it looks, it'll be one of the best games of this year.
What I can tell you now is that this mission will restore the disrupted Providence.
For those who have died, for those who have survived, and for... This is our mission.
Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. The dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies within.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together.
Lost Soul Aside is a hack-and-slash game developed by a Chinese studio. The studio is Ultai Zero Games, and the game is going to be released in May 30th, 2025. It's kind of close, and it'll be available on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your younger sister and the whole of humanity from mysterious dimensional invaders from beyond the starlit skies. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and impressive. The game is inspired in the gameplay of Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry, and it looks really good, with nice visual effects and insane fights.
I see great... Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a...
The Sinking City 2 is the sequel of a game with the same name, released in 2019, a game that seemed insane, but ended up having some problems. But now the studio seems to have learned from these mistakes, and promises to do a greater game in all aspects. The studio is Frogwares, and the game is being developed to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. We still don't know exactly when the game is coming out, but I believe we're still going to play it in 2025. The Sinking City 2 is a terrifying Lovecraftian journey, powered by Unreal Engine 5. Experience a heart-pounding survival horror in an insane story.
Into a remarkable young lass with much grace, wisdom, and kindness. Take the easy, even heart of gold. You've the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty. Darling, sweeten.
The Witcher 4 is the sequel of the acclaimed The Witcher 3, but now, different of the previous games, the protagonist won't be Geralt anymore, but Ciri, one of the most important characters of the third game. It's being developed by the studio CD Projekt Red, the same studio of Cyberpunk and The Witcher, and is probably coming out in 2027, with luck 2026, to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The new game will be totally made in Unreal Engine 5. That's one of the best engines of the moment, with impressive graphics and insane possibilities. So if you like huge and massive RPG games, this is surely one of these.
You cannot change anything!
Doors. Feuds. I have seen the miracles you so claim into the mist.
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades.
Why do we have to bear the consequences of such power?
Time
Ballad of Antara is an upcoming action RPG. The game is set in a sort of open world with a fast and fluid combat style. Through the game, the player will be able to play with multiple characters, even changing the one you're playing in real time, but just if they are with you in the battle. The game is being developed by the studio Tipswork Studio and is coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game features an interesting feature, a sort of change of dimension, kind of similar to the last Lords of the Fallen, and it looks really good here. And the boss fights looks really sick. So I'm really curious about this one.
We with emissaries, grant us
This desolate land needs a sprinkle of madness.
Happens. We did not betray this world.
Cronos: The New Dawn is third-person survival horror by the studio that brought us the amazing Silent Hill 2 remake. The studio is Bloober Team. I didn't trust the studio to do the remake of Silent Hill 2 back then, but they showed us that they know how to impress us, so I'm curious to see more about this game. It'll be released in some moment of 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game throws you into the heart of a deadly struggle against overwhelming foes, all while uncovering the mysteries of a twisted time travel story, with impressive visuals and an impressive immersion.
Ever known in my life. Our land. My family. Burns in the name of unification.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is the next adventure in the world of Assassin's Creed. The game, as always, is being developed by Ubisoft and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows in March 20th, 2025. The game, for the first time in a big Assassin's Creed game, will be set in Japan. You'll be able to play with two different characters, Neo and Yasuke, each one of them with their own style and mechanics. This will be an RPG Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla, Odyssey, and some others, set in a huge map with a lot of things to do.
You are still a frog in a well. Greed. Power.
That world came into being. It devoured everything from the past. Only I was left. That was a fatal mistake.
It's the aura of the Grail pieces. I can sense it. As long as it is reforged.
Wish can be fulfilled.
Tides of Annihilation is a new action-adventure game. It's being developed by the studio Eclipse Glow Games and is coming out to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and Windows, but there's no release date yet, probably 2026 or even later. The game is set in a world that mixes reality with fantasy, with amazing realist graphics. Everything in the game looks really good, since the visuals, audio effects, combat, that's fast and fluid, with impressive visual effects, and mainly the boss fights, with some aspects of Souls-like game, what looks really nice.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
Only for the king.
Can't escape from your doomed fate.
Gwendolyn, this is your...
The first Berseker Khazan is an action RPG set in the Souls-like style. The game is being developed by the studio Neepal and is coming out in March 27, 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game will be fast and fluid, set in a dangerous magical world. And as any other Souls-like game, it's going to be hard, really challenging, with a lot of different enemies and bosses. The graphic style is very stylish in my opinion, a good mix of realism and cartoon, giving the game a charismatic visual style, and if you're a fan of this kind of game, it looks really good. Marvel's Wolverine is the new game by the studio of Spider-Man PS4 and Ratchet & Clank. The studio is Insomniac Games, a very good studio. The game is being developed for a long time already. But unfortunately, we just have a single trailer so far here. We can see that the graphics are insane, but I really hope the game is as brutal as a Wolverine game needs to be. It'll be set in the same universe of Spider-Man games, and we still don't know when it's really coming out. Maybe 2025, 2026, to PlayStation 5 only. Onimusha Way of the Sword is the returning of an old and classic series. The game is being developed by Capcom and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Microsoft Windows. The release date is confirmed to 2026, but we still don't know when exactly in 2026. The game will be set in the same style of the original games, a game with a hack-in/combat style, but some RPG and puzzle mechanics, set in a dark and magical world, mixing reality with fantasy, what was always really fun to the series, so I'm looking forward to the new one.
Best then, eh?
Swordplay is a game of strength. And you can bring as many friends as you want. I'm so riled up.
Because I was going to make a sandwich. Let's do it. What do I think about Hero? Their disproportionately high cheekbones and comically massive weapons.
Wanker.
roughing up bandits, because they like to rough up bandits, don't they? So the true hero is me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things.
Just look at them.
Not wafting around.
Fable is the returning of a great Xbox RPG series. The game is being developed by the studio Playground Games, the same studio of Forza Horizon. So it's a different style of game of what they usually do, but it looks fun. Let's just hope it is. The game was coming out in 2025, but was postponed to 2026. It's coming out to Xbox Series XS and Windows, but I wouldn't say that a PlayStation 5 version is impossible. But it'll be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. For the fans of the series, this one will be set in the same style, a kind of open world game, with a lot of choices and possibilities of gameplay and story.
That's what defines you, isn't it? Really, stays with you. I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club. It's to her gift. But, you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove.
That's it, guys. I told there would be a lot of insane games, and I'm sure you didn't know not even half of these games, so I believe you enjoyed it. Click on a like and subscribe for me. Thank you, and I see you in the next video.